Almost 8 years ago, as I planned my retirement as a librarian, I read several books on finding fulfillment and following your dreams. It was time for me to turn the page and start a new chapter in my life. I really thought it would be traveling, relaxing, and going on photo ops with my husband, but I think God had a different plan and path for my life. Little did I know where that would lead me. When I was at the public library, I saw many children without caps, gloves, or warm jackets. I had a small closet with those items on hand. Soon after my retirement, during a church meeting, I was told there were small children without warm clothing or boots waiting for buses in the morning. When it's teenagers, it may be a choice not to wear a jacket, but that's not usually true for small children. I thought that I could have a closet in St. Paul's, much like the small closet that I had at the library. In our St. Paul's closet, we now have clothing, shoes, boots, bedding, and personal care supplies. We have arranged furniture and mattress deliveries as well. Appointments are made so that we can help one family at a time to better hear their stories and know their needs. This past year, we had 389 family visits. I do keep a tally, but it's the moments of giving a child a jacket, a pair of new shoes, or a fleece blanket that I remember most. Their joy is infectious. I remember giving a little girl a pillow, and she said, "I've never had my own pillow." This past year, on 2 different occasions, I gave towels to teenage girls. They both were extremely happy that they no longer had to share a towel with their brothers. As we serve these families going through such difficult life experiences, I sensed their heartache, seen their tears, and felt their gratitude and hugs. We have been able to fill requests from school counselors and teachers, human service staff, Red Cross staff, and help the young women of House of Hope. This past fall, our church was honored to serve breakfast to visiting Ukrainian students. They visited the closet and found shoes, jackets, and sweatshirts. One young man proudly showed me his Minnesota sweatshirt. A tall teenager literally jumped up and down in her new basketball shoes. Some students picked out Beanie Babies for themselves and their younger siblings. Many asked if they could give me a hug as they left. It touches my heart when someone says, "This is an answer to my prayers." You never know when your compassion and generosity could be the answer to someone's prayers. I'm reminded so often of God's timing in our closet. New shoes for toddlers are donated one day, and the next day 2 children that visit the closet are in sandals. Jackets are donated in the morning, and within an hour, 3 are needed for different families. A pair of work boots are donated at 3 p.m., and at 5 p.m. someone needed them so they could start their new job. Or a jacket is needed for a foster child, and one is donated in her size. It seems that donations are left at just the right time. When quilts are needed, local churches, including Zion Lutheran, Zion Methodist, Swedlanda, Our Saviors, and St. A's, donate beautiful quilts. The St. Paul's Caring and Sharing group, as well as school and church students, have made fleece blankets that the children simply love. Thrive and Action Team fundraising has raised awareness in our community and filled a large gap in our donations. They included fundraising for personal care items, jackets, shoes, boots, backpacks, and more. This past fall, Mari Ryberg delivered care kits for kids filled with personal care supplies and fleece blankets. In December, the Buffalo Lake Lions supported our closet with jackets. The Sunday school students from Swedlanda collected an offering for the closet and enclosed a sweet note about wanting to help other children. There are days when the needs of so many are overwhelming, but I have found that God will provide in His perfect timing through the generous donations from our community. I'd like to share a story that certainly felt like a God incident and not a coincidence. This happened in 2018 and is still a vivid memory. I didn't meet 19-year-old Annie until after a series of text messages. I had already met her mom, her younger siblings, and cousins in our free closet. Each message from Annie conveyed her sincere gratitude for helping her family. One day she wrote, "I will be having a baby next month, and I don't have anything. I'd be so grateful if you could help me find bottles, baby girl clothes, and diapers. Any help that you could give me would be appreciated very much." I met Annie in person on a Thursday evening while her family looked for clothing. Annie stated again that they were so thankful for the help our church had given them. She told me that a year ago they'd been sleeping in their car for 2 weeks while they worked to make enough money for rent. She was emotional when she said, "And not one person would help us." It wasn't so bad for me, but it hurt me to see my little sisters and brothers live like that. When it was time for Annie's family to leave the church, she asked if we had any small insulated lunch bags. I said, "No, I don't, but I will put it on my list." The next day, I had a message on my answering machine from my friend Gail. She said, "Jill, I have some small insulated lunch bags for my daughter and wondered if you had any need for them." I had chills thinking about the probability of this donation to fill such a unique request. After church in the park that Sunday, I stopped for a moment to talk with Pastor Amy about her cute little twins. She asked if I had any need for baby bottles. It brought tears to my eyes to think that Annie's request for help was being answered so quickly. Pastor Amy said that she thought of it while sitting next to me at the play on Friday night. Later that same Sunday, I had a request to meet at the church for a closet appointment with a different family. While I waited, I opened 2 small boxes of donated clothing. When I opened them, beautiful newborn baby girls' clothes had been given, all in God's timing. A bassinet, baby bathtub, and baby swing were donated the following week by Pastor Amy. When Annie came to the church to get her baby things, I took her face in my hands and told her that God was indeed watching over her. 3 weeks later, during the middle of the night, I received a text message with a beautiful photo of her newborn baby girl. A few years ago, when 2 of our grandsons were ages 8 and 4, we packed Spider-Man and Paw Patrol backpacks for the closet. When the bags were filled with school supplies, I said, "I wish I had some small toy cars to put in each backpack." 2 weeks later, when I was babysitting in their home, the 4-year-old brought me his toy cars and said, "These are for the boys without any toys." That was a sweet moment for this grandma. Our children and grandchildren are listening and learning by our example. On another occasion, I was chatting with his older brother and telling him that I often give out Beanie Babies to children. He looked at me and said, "Grandma Jill, those children are probably hungry and you are giving them a Beanie Baby." We now have bags of crackers, pretzels, and popcorn for hungry children. Soon we will have a blessing box outside of our church with canned goods and personal care supplies. God has blessed each of us with different talents and gifts. May each of us look into our hearts to see where we could serve others through our churches, schools, and communities. For some of us, it's belonging to civic groups, serving at a funeral, bringing soup to a neighbor, delivering Meals on Wheels, babysitting, mentoring a child, visiting shut-ins, or sending cards. There are so many ways to serve others with kindness and compassion, and to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Some older friends have said that they just don't have the energy or good health to do volunteer work anymore, but they do have the gift of time to pray, and praying just may be the most important gift of all.